Can we blame the
morning,
Fed?
David.
Are
Good
you
morning,
blaming the
everyone.
Fed for the underperformance of your market there?
Uh, I'm not blaming anybody for anything. I guess the underperformance of the market here is really caused by, I mean, uncertainty or volatility in our foreign exchange. This is preventing, foreign investors from really coming to the market because I guess aside from a country or emerging market risk, they now face a currency risk. So like I say, I mean, it's not so much the, exchange rate between the peso and the dollar, but the volatility that's, I guess, causing some investors to shy away. But having said that, for the month of September, I mean, we've had the net foreign buying about 2.4 billion pesos to date, following 6 months of net foreign selling. We also, I think, I read that I mean, foreign direct investments have also increased by about 670 million net positive. So I think the signals that the Philippine market is going to be fundamentally strong is there. The earnings are there. So I guess it's a wait and see.
Well, also along these lines is the Banco Central, which, by the way, has a rate decision too in 2 days' time, and they've come out to act against inflation and also to anchor the currency. In your opinion, do you think their policy has helped the case to make the Philippines more attractive to foreign investors?
Well, I don't want to second guess our monetary authorities, but I think the perception of foreign investors is that perhaps the rate increases imposed by the PSP is not able to catch up with the rate increases being imposed by the Fed, and this is causing a lot of volatility in our foreign exchange rate.
And there's a lot of talk about what likelihood that you're going to introduce short selling this time this year, Ramon. I'm just wondering, would markets have been less volatile if that was in place? And do you have a timeline?
This must have been the third time we've talked about the short selling. I keep saying,
has there been an update?
We're waiting for the regulators to give their final approval. We're pushing this because I personally believe that having short selling would have reduced volatility in the market, especially as far as foreign investors are concerned, because it would allow them to hedge their exposure in the Philippine market rather than sell out when there are some uncertainties in the prospects of their country or the emerging markets.
And is it fair to even ask you if you have a rough timetable, or is this completely out of your hands at this point?
It's been out of my hands since 2020. So, I mean, I keep saying I'm hoping to have this, done in the next quarter, but I still keep my fingers crossed that, this will be approved before the end of the year. I don't like to sound like a boy-pride wolf.
No, I know. But what more is on your plate, of course, is the IPO situation, right? You just had a conference last week talking about maybe 3 more this year. Can you tell us a little bit more what the outlook looks like for 2023? How many IPOs, how much capital do you think could be raised?
Okay. Well, for this year, let's start with this year. We obviously will not be able to come up with the same amount of capital raising targets that we had in the record one we had in 2021. We had 235 billion of capital raised in 2021. This year probably will come up to about 150 at the best, at the very best. Next year should be better. Like I said, the markets are fundamentally strong, or you might say intrinsically strong, because the earnings are there. We think foreign investors, at least with the data we have for the September to date, are starting to come into the market. So there will be more companies that will venture into the equities market. So I hope we can come up with at least 200 billion of capital raising for next year. After all, okay, what's happened basically this year is rather than raise capital from the equity market, companies have gone to the fixed income market. For a fixed income market, bond raising has reached a level of 400 billion. I mean, so it's what PSE lost, I guess, the fixed income exchange gain. But like I said, with this high interest rate regime, I think fewer and fewer companies will be, going to the debt market next year.
Mr. Monzon, speaking of, well, they went to fixed income. If they went into crypto, is that something that you're actively considering? I'm just trying to figure out if you're actively looking, assuming that the rules and regulations are set in the crypto markets, is that something you think the PSE is actively looking to participate in?
I would say not actively, but we are having talks with potential partners. I mean, we don't want to be the first movers in the crypto exchange arena, but we also don't want to get left behind. So we have conducted talks with some crypto players, and we're trying to, come up with some, I guess, common goals or, common agreements on how we can proceed forward to have a crypto exchange in the PSE.
Okay, maybe not going that far as a final question is trying to reach new clients and a clientele base, and you probably know where I'm going with this. I've seen reports that the exchange maybe has gotten into an agreement with one of the large telcos on their digital wallet. Could you care to comment on what's been talked about so far these last few days?
Well, basically, the PSE, one of our advocacy is to increase retail participation in the market. In January 2021, for the first time ever, retail investors comprise more than 50% of the value traded in the exchange. That has gone down again to about 28 to 29%. So this is an ongoing campaign that we have, and we, as you correctly said, we are going to be tying up with a big payment platform and hopefully be able to enable all the subscribers to invest directly in the stock market.